Attenborough Mart. Oh, and now we're live.
All right, well, welcome to the Roast of SoulJoel's. For anybody that missed it, it was our second to last night under the Comedy Dome after 16 months of being outside in Royersford. 6 different seasons, 2 summers, 2 falls, a winter, and a spring. We decided what else we were going to do. Well, we didn't do a roast. So we brought all the comics together that were with us since the beginning, from the Valley Forge days, inside at Royersford at SoulJoel's, and then outside. We did a 6-minute set for each comic. James Mattern, our resident host over the shutdown and the pandemic, hosted it. And then we went right into the roast. Now, Dan, by the way, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. I made myself available. Busy Tuesday nights for me over at the wherever I am, Lansdale Tavern specifically, and Kate Ann, thanks for joining in. I figured you were going to be first. This is off to a hot start.
You got your degrees behind you. Thanks for.
I do. I got kicked out of the upstairs office, and now I'm in the basement. I'm trying to liven things up a bit. What better way to do it than put a college degree here and an online certificate here? I mean, I might put up a certificate from T-ball in 2nd grade right on top. We'll see what happens.
Well, hilarious. I got nothing but the boring background.
Are you in the garage or a bathroom? Where are you at?
I'm in my room. I'm in my sister's basement because I say it on stage, but it's literally that's what happened. I sold my house in New Jersey. I bought the Dome in Royersford, and I moved directly into my sister's basement.
Damn, we got to do like a Collegeville Cribs episode and have you walk through your sister's house.
That'd be dope, man. One thing that we talked about with the roast, people, they didn't know what to expect. I mean, obviously you could see roast on TV and the old D. Martin roasts and Comedy Central and stuff like that. To be roasted, people only roast the ones they love. So when everybody was friends, some people even went hard, like Kunal went hard on everyone, but he even roasted my sister. And people were like on the way out, they were consoling her, like, "Are you okay?" Because Kunal kind of went hard, and she goes, "I would have been more upset if he didn't go hard."
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of how these roasts work.
Yeah, that's just kind of how they're structured. So just so everybody knows that the people on there are just jokes. Everybody's in the same industry. We know how roasts work. Everybody came prepared with something to say about other people up there. Obviously, they've been going on forever. I think it's clear why Comedy Central doesn't do as many roasts, if not any, anymore. I mean, I haven't seen one in a long time, but
that no one gets canceled.
Yeah, because there's a few things said throughout this roast that if you're not a fan of dark humor or raunchy cursing type of comedy, it's definitely
your mom tuning in, right?
Do moms get roasted? I've been doing that for 29 years now, I think, but.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So I mean, you were really well prepared. You're one of the people that surprised me, honestly. You're very well prepared, but was that your first actual roast besides weddings and bachelor parties, stuff like that?
Yeah, that was my first actual roast, and I've grown up really loving watching the roasts all the time. More recently, watching a lot of real old school D. Martin ones with Don Rickles and everything. I didn't appreciate those as much when I was younger, so it was always the Comedy Central ones, and I mean, I still play those all the time. But actually being able to write for one of people I knew and actually perform it—that's the first time I ever got to do it. So I really enjoyed it. It's really, really fun to do and being part of because you get to dish it out, you get to take it. It's great.
I think you enjoyed the inside jokes.
Oh yeah. That's usually just there was a lot that some people got, other people kind of didn't understand what I was talking about, but I try to make it a mass appeal for the most of them. But then there's other ones that people are going to hear that you might have to be a little on the inside to get. But
well, speaking of inside, you just reminded me that. Shout out to Dave Matthews, who's one of the guys that was with us in Valley Forge. He built our stage inside when we first went in to open up SoulJoel's, and he came that night. And when he came down with the other couple, it was the 2 nights before Halloween. So I was like, oh my gosh, this couple dressed up. And then I realized they're really Amish. They're not dressed up. That is how they dress. So you're going to hear comics or the people on stage talking about the Amish. There was actual people, like a lady with the buns up here, like and the guy Jebediah with like his beard.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
like my beard
hilarious.
missing the mustache. It was great. I mean,
Right. So it was going in hard. But
you'll yeah, you'll
overall, I
hear
think it was a success.
it was good. And I mean, we kind of had people trapped in a way because it started torrentially downpouring. If you see, like, Chris Roach was cracking me up the entire time because he's wearing this massive coat and had the hood on the entire time because we took the roof off of the stage and the wind was blowing so hard that the rain was blowing right in and like hitting you in the back of the neck as you were on stage. And it was torrentially downpouring. So they were all under the dome. Everyone was dry, but it was a little cold that night. It was probably in the 50s, which coming out of summer, that's really cold. But it made us realize, like, holy shit, we can't wait until next weekend when we're not outside anymore. But there were all those people coming, some of them big fans, other ones not so big fans, that were just like, wow, we loved the sand and the summertime. It was fun. And it's like, yeah, but were you out here when it was 20 degrees? Like,
Right. Where Joey, Kiernan, and I and you were all like, our fingers are frozen from frostbite trying, because those heaters work good when it's 40 to 60 degrees, but when it's anywhere under that, you got to be right up against that. People don't realize that we were spending $500 a week in propane. That night, like you said, we had sold about 150 tickets, but we probably had about 50 no-shows because it hit 54 degrees that night, but it was also raining, so it was like a cold rain. And just one of those things that made us realize, like, we have to go back inside. And we didn't make money. Again, I want to tell people, we didn't make money November, December, January. Like, for us to stay in business, we had to go back inside. It's not to say that we're not going to go back outside when the weather gets nice, but it's just something we literally had to do. And the people that kill us are a lot of the people that went to like 4 or less shows. Like, there was one couple that Dan and I were talking to that last week. They're like, we love having you local. We're 7 minutes away. The last show they went to was TJ Miller, which was a year ago.
yeah,
It's wild.
it's tough. And going back inside, obviously the new setup that we have is great inside of a room that typically does wedding receptions. I mean, it's really nice in there. It's not, it's set up as close to a club as possible, but we have theater style seating. It's a smaller room. We got a bar in there. And people have been really enjoying it. It's a nice spot to be doing stuff actually inside. I could see if nowhere else, if it was the same as last winter, where a lot of places weren't open, no comedy clubs were, going inside was very like this, but now everything, I mean, it's almost like the entire thing, people are treating it like it's not a thing anymore. People only wear masks around here, at least if they want to. It's not a mandate. So
to go back to what you said, when we went outside July 3rd of last year, I tried to book, I did book Mike Vecchione, and Mike was like, man, outdoor comedy is just no good, man, no good. And then we adapted our whole team the whole time to make it so that it was great. But it's one of those things where before the pandemic, you would have been like, comedy outside, you're nuts. And now, last weekend we had about 100 people, but it felt like 300 in the dome because that those 4 walls and a ceiling, like, it captures that laughter. So it's loud and you're like, oh, I'm getting laughs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, of course, we had to do the roast because it was the end of that era, and we're going to start that here shortly. I guess in the very beginning of it, we're going to have your buddy that played the bugle. We're going to show that. Your sister Deanna read a very nice poem, and then we get into the roasts. Bunch of comics you've seen at offsite shows, at the club, all over. They're in like all the different comics you see at a lot of SoulJoel's shows. The entire thing. How long did the roast run? I mean, we're gonna play it here, but how long?
It was Joey can tell us better, but I think the roast was about an hour, maybe like an hour.
About an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Okay, so it is like 90 minutes. But so and everything's a show. Like, I brought in a bugle player. People thought I was nuts, but like it almost like set the tone for like, it's an end of an era, and I know it's a normally a war thing when a veteran or a soldier dies, but I brought my fraternity brother. He came in. I know he played the trumpet, but he knocked it out of the park Friday, knocked it out of the park. Early show Saturday, open up for Gilbert, but then he got caught talking to a bunch of our fans because we've created this this like festival environment where people are hanging out. It was BYOB, so people are drinking and I go, hey, Don, we're about to go on. He was like, it's 8:30 already. Whew. And he didn't warm up, and he went on, and he was off key. But he was so off key that people thought that was on purpose and it was part of the show, which people were like, oh, the show's already starting. It made it hilarious.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was a good touch for everything. And we see people commenting here, and what Joel and I are going to do when we play the roast here, we're going to play it. You guys watch it, and we'll comment back and forth and kind of tell you who's on, who's up next, stuff like that. So we'll kind of get into it. We have the whole, there was a total of 7 or 8, maybe even 9 of us.
Yep. 8 plus James, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Chris Roach, Mark DeMeo, Dennis Rooney, Missy G. Hall, Buddy, you, Kunal, and James.
Gotcha.
Oh, so and then my sister did the poem.
Yeah. So we go.
Sneak preview for. By the way, there's always 2 shows going on. I always say this. There's one for the comics and there's one for the audience. And people don't know what happens behind the scenes. So my stepdad, I was a huge supporter. He runs security for us. He went to my mom and goes, hey, that Daddy Danny, does he work for Joel? And my mom's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, he's not getting paid nearly enough for all that stupid stuff. So just so you guys know, coming up, he's going to be going to one of our sponsors, going to the Gynecology.
This is the first time. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I don't know the sponsor. I know the sponsor, Dr. Donald.
The sponsor, yeah.
He's a urogynecologist or a
urogynecologist. That's it.
I have no idea what it is.
Great plug, Joel.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds like it's going to be.
You're going to be going in the stirrups, I believe. We'll see.
Well, we're going to have to get a saddle and buckle up, cowboy.
Without further ado, let's go to the roast.
We'll go to the roast. We'll talk to you in the comments.
Yep.
The only fitting way to say goodbye to this wonderful club is by having a musical appearance. Please, everybody, here's a moment of silence for SoulJoel's. Give it up for Joel's fraternity brother from college. They said it couldn't last. All right. Jesus Christ. All right, are you guys ready? Look, based on the last 5 minutes, are you guys ready for a roast? Before that, we have a special guest who's dear to everyone's heart and to Joel's heart, doing something special up front. Please welcome Joel's sister, the great Deanna, no last name. Deanna, no last name, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Joel thought this was a good idea, to give me a microphone. I have 5 minutes. That's not going to be enough. I have 2 minutes. It's not going to be enough time. So I want you guys to indulge me because we're videotaping this. So I want to do something with you guys real quick, just for videotaping purposes because I'm sure I'll want to use it sometime in the future. So we're going to do something where I say Soul, you guys say Joel. And we're just going to go back and forth like that 3 times. Okay, you guys ready? It's going to be fun, right? You guys ready? All right, ready? I say Soul, you say Joel. Soul! 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 Woo! Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So, I mean, as you guys know, I'm Joel's sister, so I've known him for 38 years. Long time. You guys probably think that, oh my gosh, she has so many stories. She's going to get up there and she's going to roast them, like the time, you know, that Joel did pharmaceutical sales and shit his pants during the workday. I would never tell that story. Or the time that he got punched in the face by a bar owner at one of the very first comedy shows that he did. I would never tell that story either. So instead of telling stories, I wrote Joel a poem. Just for Joel. I don't cry. I leave that up to Joel. I'm not sentimental. I'm not sentimental in the least. So I just wrote him a short little poem to try to sum up 14 years of comedy and going forward. So here it goes. Joel loves comedy, that we all know. So much that sometimes he even lets his bank account get low. He always makes sure the comics are paid because he knows without them, a good club is not made. Comedy is his first love. It's true. Even at times, it leaves him black and blue. Undeniable, sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears. Those have been just a few of his mottos over the years. SoulJoel's will continue to thrive and bring all the jokes. So sit down, pay attention, and buckle up, folks. Thank you, guys.
Keep it going for Deanna. Give it up for Deanna. She has no last name, like Madonna. Well, roasters, have fun calling him a cocksucker now. We might as well just show the end of Old Yeller and then started this shit. Hey, you guys want to watch Rudy and then fucking make fun of a... Hey, let's watch Field of Dreams and then roast this motherfucker and dress him up as Kevin Costner. Oh, Field of Dreams is this movie about a... All right. Enough already. Let's start this. Let's bring all the comics you already seen on stage to this dais. Let's get them out of the rain. Come on, you know everybody. Probably not, because no one's done your fucking thing. Look at this. This isn't a who's who, it's a who cares, huh? Boy, you never heard that at the beginning of a fucking roast. Boy, I haven't seen talent like this since fuck it. Never. There's no talent here, am I right? It's a roast, bitches. That's what they do. All right. So we have comics are going to come up here. They're going to insult everyone. Please have a goddamn sense of humor. I'm going to be honest. This show feels like it's been 7 hours already. I feel like you're a good audience, and then sometimes I fucking don't, all right? I feel like some of you aren't leaving because you're scared because of the rain. You don't have a home, all right? So if you don't laugh, I'll just keep coming back up and go, look, I got a report. No one's homes is there. Just fucking settle down and enjoy this. Let out the laughter. A lot of these comics put a lot of effort into writing this material about Joel, about the area, the dome, each other, all this shit. So let's have a good fucking time. Does that sound good, everybody? I will bring people up. They will do their thing. Everyone will get fucked up. Joel will go. All right, thank you. I guess this is our... Is this a 5th grade roast? What are we fucking doing here? I'd like to say that Bobby real doo-doo head. Yo, this is proof. We should have let comedy die. We really fucking should have. The pandemic should have wiped this shit the fuck out. I could have been a banker or some shit. Candlestick maker. Hey, that's for you guys over there. The boys still got it. kicking off. I'm saying kicking off. This is like hour 35. This is like saying kicking off Apocalypse Now. This next performer had a wonderful set. He's dressed spectacularly. He's a great, dashing young man from a wonderful part of New York called Long Island. Please welcome Dennis Rooney, everybody. Dennis Rooney.
Thank you, everybody. Keep it going for your host, James Mattern, huh? I've been getting shit from the other comics for having a notebook and writing jokes for this. I don't know what to say. Fucking wrote some jokes, all right? Thank you for this grade school podium. I really appreciate the effort. This whole place is built out of wood and pipes, and they're like, here's a piece. You didn't even wipe it down. It's fucking filthy. And I didn't like how you guys received my set, all right? I was happy with those jokes. I think you judged me because of the vaccination thing up top. I think you made your decision about me before you let me get to my material, and you can go fuck yourself. Good evening, cunts. Here we go. James Mattern, everybody, the host with the most. Absolutely, the host with the most famous friends. We're happy to have you here in the rain, James. You look like if Kermit the Frog wrote for Rolling Stone. Congratulations. But we'll get back to you maybe a little bit later. Actually, probably not. That's honestly probably the only thing I have for you. Missy G. Hall is here, everybody. Bringing some female energy to this straight white male lineup, you piece of shit, Joel. You're going to be canceled in 6 months, guaranteed, all right? Once this tape gets out of tonight. Missy G. Hall is here. When people say there are no funny female comedians, I go, haven't you heard of Missy G. Hall? And they go, no. And I go, me neither. I was hesitant to do this roast because I'm close with 2 of the comics. I'm like friendly with the other 4. I literally just met Missy before the show started, and now I'm about to tear her a new asshole. So, fuck it, this bitch could catch it too. I don't know what to say. Oh my God, Missy G. Hall. Jesus Christ, that name. How are you not a fat black woman? Missy G. Hall. Are you sure you didn't open for Earthquake back in '96? Did I see you opening for Earthquake back in the day? Oh my God. It's okay if you were in blackface at the time. It was a different time. No one's going to hold your feet to the fire for it. I haven't seen her act, but Missy G. Hall is obviously a middle-aged woman, so I'm sure that she has 101 ways to say pussy without saying pussy, and I'm sure the 45 minutes on menopause has really been whittled down to bring in a younger audience. Yes, I did a little... fucking paper. Thank you, by the way, everyone, for dressing in your... Actually, you're all dressed practically. I'm a fucking asshole right now. I don't know why I'm wearing this. You know, you think roast, you think Dean Martin with a cocktail. I'm going to get influenza and die from this gig. I'm going to die of pneumonia, I'm pretty sure. I did a little digging about Missy because I'd never met her before this gig, only to find out that she is one of those stand-up comedian fucking life coaches, motivational speaker people. I've never understood that. And there's more comedians doing motivational speaking than you would suspect. They are out there. I don't get it. How much of a piece of shit do you have to be to turn to a comedian for life advice? Look at what we're here doing, and you're going to be like, life's not great at home. I don't understand it, Missy. How many people have killed themselves after a pep talk from you? I will later. I'm going to die before the night's over, more than likely. How many more people needlessly need to die before you're satiated and you can return to that seaside catacomb only to be released in another 27 years later with a fresh thirst for blood? All right. Some of these are going to be wordy, and I'm going to get through on charisma. I'm sorry. I didn't want to just roll over you because I know that middle-aged women in show business are the most ignored people in show business. Speaking of ignored people in show business, Dan Callahan is here, everybody. Dan Callahan is here, or as Joel likes to call him, bottom bitch. Every time I roll up to a Soul Joel gig and I see that Dan Callahan is hosting, I am washed over with a wave of relief. Usually because I just chuffed some heroin in my car before I get out. Dan Callahan is reliable to open a show with some great local business references, maybe a clever pun or two, and he's probably going to shit on a neighboring town that's inhabited by black people. It's probably going to happen. Don't make a wrong turn when you leave tonight, everybody. You might wind up in Coatesville. Don't wind up in Downington. They'll steal your hubcaps. Right, people? All right. I don't know. I looked at Google Maps for like half a second. And I was like, boom, that one. It's probably like the richest, whitest town there is, but whatever. Dan, if I have to listen to you bomb for 15 minutes one more time at the start of a show, I am going to slit my fucking wrists, all right? In your Pennsylvanian patois. I'm fucking over it, dude. The only thing with more dead, patchy spots in your act is your facial hair. All right, here we go. That's what you get upset about, is facial hair? Oh, it's going to get worse. All right, listen. Speaking of bottom bitches, Buddy Harris is here, everybody. Buddy Harris, our man in the camouflage. I'm a little disappointed because when I think of Buddy Harris, he's a beefcake. Dude's fucking stacked, and he showed up tonight with multiple layers, and you almost wouldn't know. Buddy, you have the name of a dog and a face to match. You're like that dog at the pound that never gets adopted, so he just keeps doing prison workouts, getting scarier and scarier. I'm not one for astrological signs, but, buddy, you are a Cancer. A Cancer on this business and a Cancer on the comedy community. For those of you who don't know, Buddy is actually a survivor of cancer. Give it up for him. That's right. He beat cancer. He beat his wife. He beat his kids. He's beaten everything, everybody. Yeah, Buddy Harris had cancer for like 2 years, and obviously a very scary time for him. However, his wife and kids refer to it as the happiest time in our lives, quite frankly. Fuck you, people. Oh, man. When Buddy was diagnosed with cancer, his doctor was like, we're going to need to prescribe a mild steroid. And he was just like, I am way ahead of you. I am way ahead of you. It was the first time he ever bought steroids not in a Planet Fitness bathroom. So it was a big step up for him. And they worked, thank God. Buddy, let me ask you, what was the happiest day of your life? Was it the day they told you the cancer was in remission, or was it the day that Joel changed your life? Come on, you remember you and Dan Callahan were down under the overpass? Warming up those mouth muscles for another day of pleasing Johns? When all of a sudden Joel rolled up in his 97 Toyota, rolled down his window and said, hey boys, how would you like to host shitty comedy shows in shittier neighborhoods for $75 a pop? And luckily they did want to. However, then there was a kicking in the trunk, in Joel's trunk, and Dan and Buddy were like, what is that? Joel looked at him and said, that's the Mad Dog. And then they were like, all right, but who's going to headline these shows? And Mark DeMeo popped up like, hey, what's going on? Mark DeMeo, everybody. Give it up for him. He had some great stuff. Salisbury steak. Or Mark of the Mayo, I believe is the old English pronunciation. If you don't know, Mark DeMeo, former NYPD. That's huge. That's a big deal. Yes. Mark, I only have one question for you. Where were you on 9/11, and how come it couldn't have been Tower 1? Fuck you, Pennsylvania. I don't give a fuck. I'm from New York. Go fuck yourselves. Mark DeMeo is what happens when you grow up watching the Police Academy movies thinking they're documentaries. Can't you see Mark DeMeo, day one of like the Academy, raising his hand like, yeah, what sound effect do we play after we shoot an unarmed civilian? Is that the dodo bird or is that the ambulance? Woo, woo, woo. I don't remember. He's not the only former policeman on this dais, everybody. Chris Roach, who has his head down currently, is also former. That's the thing. These guys they're too dopey. They're too sweet to be cops. Let's be honest. These guys were fucking bullied in the academy, probably getting swirlies. I feel like if Mark and Roach are like the high intellectuals the NYPD is seeking out, maybe Al-Qaeda had a point. Again, I don't give a fuck. Mark did a one-man show about his time as a cop called 20 and Out. It's the same deal he's given his family. I'm going to give you 20 months and you go fuck yourselves. You deal with it. I don't know. The blue wall of silence, ladies and gentlemen, is defined as the informal code of silence among cops to not report on a colleague's inactions. Now the blue wall of silence is just how he's met every time he's walked onto stage. Thank God he has Casey Aurora to open for him, everybody. Casey Aurora, my man at the end there. Listen, you're gonna hear a lot of bullshit tonight. You're gonna hear people say, Dennis Rooney, he's a fat hack. He's a 30-something-year-old bland white guy comic. He's gonna be a feature for life, and he lives in his mother's basement. That is not true. I live in Kunal's mom's basement. All right? I'm not one of these losers living at home. No, I live with Kunal's mother. And I'm here to say this right now. Kunal's mom, Sunita Arora, is a fucking sweetheart, and that's why it's such a mystery how she raised such a miserable cunt. All right, everybody? Kunal, you dickless... Listen. Kunal Arora has a statue of Aziz Ansari with 8 arms in his closet that he gives thanks to every morning for opening the floodgates for other Indian American comedians who hate their parents. Kunal, you've been known for being a prick for so long that now that you've turned a new leaf and you're being nice to comics, they're just like thrown for a loop. They're giving you the Buddy Harris treatment. They're like, do you have cancer? Are you dying? You're like the Desi Mark Maron. Everywhere you go, you're like, are we cool? Is this cool? I'm not how I used to be. Is this all right? I don't know. All right, I live with Kunal's mom. There's no easy way to say this. I'm fucking your mom, obviously. Me and your mom have a very good relationship at this point, and I'm here to tell you I'm proud of you, son. Wear something nice to Christmas, okay? Kunal Arora, actually, for a while, there was like an 18-month stretch where he was going by KC Arora. How retarded do you have to be to think that changing your name is going to somehow move your comedy career along? I don't know. Anyway, Mad Dog Mattern is here. I'm sorry, James Mattern is here. That's too inside baseball, but I thought it was good. All right. Listen, Kunal's great. I do think he just came off 2 appearances on a big podcast. I think it's going to be his year. I think Kunal's going to pop this year. So follow him on Instagram, listen to his podcast, and if you want to further support him, his halal cart is on Hillside Avenue and 247th Street in Belrose, New York, okay? All right, we're starting to get long, and I didn't write too much for the rest of you, but James Mattern is here, the host with the most, etc., the crowd work king. Some people grew up idolizing Cosby. This man liked R.C. Smith. Nobody knows who he is, and there's a good reason for that. Before quarantine, there was a big trend in comedy. Everyone was releasing crowd work albums, you know what I mean? 45 minutes of talking to the crowd. That's all fucking James does. And what did he do? 45 minutes of hard jokes on an album. That's what he decided his move was when everyone else was doing crowd work. James said, I had to put out an album with jokes because I didn't want people to think that I can only do crowd work. And I got to say, once I heard the album, please go back to crowd work, dude, okay? Please. We're all begging you. You're like a character from Almost Famous who got written out. James Mattern, or as I like to call him, where are you from, what do? You throw out a lot of come on babies, like an Elvis impersonator, because you're from Vegas. And if you don't know, what happens in Vegas moves to New York and disappoints their parents. Chris Roach is here, you giant retarded baby. Chris Roach, you fat dope. Look at the size of your head. Chris Roach is like an infant. If you don't give him some support on the back of the head, he's just going to be... And that's his moneymaker, everybody, all right? Chris Roach has 20 good minutes of material, but don't be confused. His face is the headliner, all right? He's just... You look like that alien in Men in Black when he pulls back his face. It's like... All the comics here will be long dead, and Chris Roach's face will be like floating in a glass jar on some politician's desk as a paperweight. And when they have a tough day, they're just going to look at him, and he's going to be like... Chris Roach likes to wear Hawaiian shirts when it's a little nicer weather out, but his brand isn't Tommy Bahama, it's Tommy Pastrami. People think you're fat and dumb, Roach, but I honestly know you as more of a song and dance man. The song is the sound of silence every time you go on stage, and the dance is the mashed potato. All right, let's finish this up. I'm sorry, thanks. Joel Richardson, everybody. Soul Joel. My man, the Jeff Bezos of comedy. Just exploiting the shit out of everyone underneath you. The only difference between Soul Joel and Jeff Bezos is that Joel would never compromise his comedy integrity to take $1. Just look around at your beautiful... He would never. Soul Joel, you and Missy G. Hall. What's with these black names? You're whiter than I've ever seen. You two both need to cut a check to the NAACP if you want any shot at going to interracial heaven, all right? I don't get it, dude. You're like, you got the black vibe. You come out, somehow you like combine creepy Christian vibes, cheap Jew, and motivational life coach into one ball. I don't know how you do it. And if you're wondering how he does it, Joel will teach you for a small, small price. And he promises it will change your life. Oh, okay. Let's end on this one. Joel, seriously, the inspirational posts on Instagram, on social media. I know you like got a cult to cultivate, but it's a lot, man. Joel posts more inspirational quotes than a battered housewife who's trying to work up the courage to leave her abusive husband. Listen, Joel was one of the first guys who started giving me road work in this business. I've been doing stand-up now for like 11 years, and there's a lot of pieces of shit in this business, and there's a lot of people who won't give you the time of the day. Joel's a really nice dude. He's a very funny dude. Joel, I love you. Thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck and everything. Thank you so much.
Dennis Rooney, everybody. Give it up for Dennis Rooney. I want to thank him for keeping it tight and quick. Jesus Christ, he did more time opening this roast than he gets in a month in New York City comedy clubs. Oh, fuck. Guys, I hope you're okay with this, because this is what it's going to be. I'm going to keep it going. You guys are having a good time. Also, real quick, very nice. Just so you know, I'm going to get zinged, and it's very nice that you were protective. Fucking laugh. It's part. We all, everything's, let it all out. Everyone wrote jokes. Fuck it. Let them zing me. Let them zing everybody. Let's go out strong, all right? Sound good? Come on, let's have some fun tonight. Let's go. An absolute national treasure. Give it up for Dan Callahan. I'm going to get some alcohol. Dan Callahan.
Keep it going for James and everybody up here. Everybody, let him hear it. Dennis makes a good point. I am the bottom bitch here. Actually, me, Joey, Kieran, and all of us share that role together. And I realize I'm sitting up here wearing something with Joel's name on it, and I've had enough of it, and I'm going to take it off right now. Give me a hot second, because done wearing shit with everything's got to have Joel's name on it. Everything from the sweatshirts to the condoms. It's all right, there. That's much better. Let's give it up for the one thing that made this all possible, everybody. Let's give a good hand for COVID-19. Let's hear it. Yeah. One more time for the bugle player as well. Bugle player over here. That was the best musical act I have seen on this stage ever since we opened up out here. It's absolutely wonderful. Could I just get some clarification, though? Was the bugle playing for the Dome, or was it for everybody on stage's careers? James Matter. Did he walk away? Oh, he did. I'll do his jokes anyway. The self-appointed commissioner of comedy. Right, everybody? There he is, Commish. When I first heard that name and the title of his podcast, the first thing I correlated with was how similar he is to Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, right? Mainly because they both fuck a lot of people in their field that have brain damage. James has built quite a fan base here in Royersford, Pennsylvania, though, right? In Royersford, Pennsylvania, huh? What a place to build a fan base. I would have said it'd probably be better with Charles Manson. Probably has a better fan base than that. Give it up for Deanna. Where's Deanna at, everybody? Deanna, where'd give it up for Deanna. Isn't she drunk, everybody? Give it up for Deanna. You know, Joe, when he first started in comedy, he was brushing shoulders with a lot of people that became nowadays very famous. A lot of people. Pete Davidson, Nate Bargatze, Chris DiStefano. Just, the list could go on. And Deanna, she likes to take credit for a lot of the success Joel has gotten in comedy, because she got to brush shoulders with a lot of those people as well. Hold on a second. I lost my place. But if Deanna really wanted to help Joel's career in comedy, the least she could have done was get knocked up by Nate Bargatze when he still answered Joel's phone calls. Buddy Harris is here. Give it up for Buddy Harris. Yes. Buddy went from beating testicular cancer to owning the Lansdale Tavern in beautiful Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Give it up for Buddy, everybody. This is wonderful. I've never been there because I don't own a motorcycle or have a domestic violence charge on my record, but Buddy was gracious enough, though, to name many sandwiches at the Lansdale Tavern, all from many comics, on this stage here today. For instance, Buddy named a sandwich after himself, and it comes served with one walnut that's been exposed to radiation. And it's all right. It's all right. I have my own sandwich there. It's called, of course, it's called the Daddy Danny, and it's only served at SoulJoel's shows. Dennis Rooney. How about Dennis Rooney kicking us off here for an hour and a half? Give it up for Dennis. Dennis is only here because he's never said no to a roast before. Dennis, some of the first shows I've ever done were with Dennis, and I truly look up to him as a comic. He's one of the first people I really got to experience to see how you can middle on a show. It was actually amazing. You know, I really look up to Dennis because up until that point, I never knew that you could have a full career in comedy with only 30 minutes of material in a car that Chris Roach could fit in. That brings me to Chris Roach, everybody. Give it up for Chris Roach. You might know Chris Roach from that sitcom with Kevin James. No, not that one, the other one. Before that, his biggest credit was being one of the giant balloons in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Chris Roach also has a sandwich at the Lansdale Tavern. It's actually a chicken tenders kids meal, but it doesn't come with a paper placemat and crayons because he doesn't draw. Let's move. Casey Aurora, everybody. Casey Kunal Aurora. And yes, he has his own sandwich, too. It's the chickpea chicken curry sandwich, and it's only on the menu because they needed a little diversity. Just for some backstory, Kunal and Friends on October 7th, 2020. This was a show that was held here October 7th, 2020. It was billed as all killers and no fillers, but it turns out we needed some seat fillers because it only sold 6 tickets. Do you guys know the story about how Kunal met Joel? I might butcher this a little bit. Maybe one of you guys can save it here. But he met Joel because he went up to Joel at a show that Joel booked, and there was multiple people, like a lot of you fools here tonight, wearing SoulJoel material in the front row. He goes up to Joel, and he's like, hey, who are these assholes wearing the Soul shirts in the front row? It was most of Joel's family. It's great, and a lot has changed since then. A lot has changed since then because now Kunal comes to shows here and he's like, hey, who are these assholes that paid $20 for bottles of sand that they got from Lowe's that has a SoulJoel sticker on it? You guys might know me from hosting the open mic here every single fucking week since November. For sometimes 15, sometimes 50 of the biggest degenerates you've ever seen in this area. A few weeks ago, there was a bit of an incident at an open mic where an elderly woman who came with her husband were sitting in the back corner, completely out of touch from anything involved here, and one of the comics came up on stage, and he said, directing right at her, he's like, ma'am, your clit must be really dry. Brutal. And that was the last time Missy Hall ever came to an open mic here at SoulJoel's. Missy has a catchphrase, and it's called, it's a happy thing. And realistically, she only says that out loud every time she looks at her calendar and sees she doesn't have a show at the Dome. Fuck, I really stuttered over that one. Mark DeMeo is the comedy what Alec Baldwin is the gun safety. Mark used to be a cop in New York City. Give it up for Mark for being an NYPD detective. That's right. You guys know how much Joel loves and supports the police in this town because he pays them off to never respond to any complaint that comes out of this place, right? So I guess Mark isn't the only out-of-shape, crooked cop getting paid tonight, huh? Scroll right past that one. And now we're here to Joel, everybody. Give it up to Joel. This one's a slow burn. If you're friends with Joel on social media, you know he believes in signs from the universe. His signs are a little different, though. His types of signs are phone calls that he gets from his dad that lives in China about a virus killing tens of thousands of people, and he should find a way to capitalize on it by having a comedian get assaulted on stage. Without a doubt, Joel's cash cow is Aunt Mary Pat, right? Or as Kunal's people like to say, the holy cow. Let's be honest, though. Joel loves Aunt Mary Pat, not only because the comic sells out multiple shows, but as a person, because she is a middle-aged white trash woman with a 5 o'clock shadow, and she also has a throbbing cock. My next line says, describe the cock. So if you could really picture, like, multiple veins. Like, I mean, it would bleed out if you were to cut one of them with a razor. Fun fact, Joel is actually part Hispanic. Oh, with that thing right there? Yeah. You don't know what kind of diseases would be coming out of that cock. Fun fact, Joel's part Hispanic. I haven't seen someone so committed to living under a tent for a year since I visited the southern border. Joel, too, has a sandwich named after him at the Lansdale Tavern. Buddy, you can give me a check for all the promos I'm giving up here for you, by the way. It's called the Soul Burger. It's got all the fixins. It's seasoned with sand, and it only comes between 60-year-old buns. And now on to the venue, the main attraction here. Could you ever believe that this monstrosity is owned by somebody that has 2 people in his family that are real estate agents? And the landlord, the balls on this landlord at Lewis Environmental for having an environmental disaster erected on his property. 100 feet by 65 feet that'll soon be in that river back there and kill whatever life is left by choking hazards. I'm sorry, I should have asked. Is anyone from Lewis Environmental here? We took their sign down for undisclosed reasons. More hacks have been seen on this stage than were found in Nicole Brown Simpson's body. This dome was constructed over the course of 2 weeks by 3 meth heads from Kentucky that were hired off Craigslist, and that's a true story. I said 3. 3 meth heads constructed this thing. I've seen more structural integrity in a condo in Miami. People often refer to this club as a circus, which is true because it's under a tent. There's animals up here entertaining all the time, and most women that come here have a beard. People have said this venue is similar to a FEMA tent in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, but that can't be true because there's never any black people here. Am I wrong? Where's the black person? Moving right along. Funny story, I don't have a joke for this, but a woman came to the Bill Bellamy show. Who's a famous comic. She was searching for soul food on Google, and she saw SoulJoel's. And she came to the Bill Bellamy show, and there was no soul, and there was no food, so... The people of Spring City often complain about the noise coming from the dome, but I thought it would have been good to drown out the sounds of the noise of them cooking meth in their trailers. Or from beating their wives. All right. This is my last. This place also has a sandwich, of course, at the Lansdale Tavern. It's called the Dome. It's a tuna sandwich because of the smell from the porta potties, but it is served in a litter box, and you get yelled at by a local politician for having it. So, did I ruffle enough feathers up here, everybody? Let me get serious for a second. 1 second. In all honesty, this has brought so much not only from Joel and everybody involved with the staff, all of the Kiernan and Joey. Give it up for Kiernan and Joey, everybody. Let them hear it. Always working hard here. We had a lot of flaky interns that are no more, so for them as well. All the comics, all of these comics I have met through Joel. I started doing stand-up, doing open mics. Joel put me on a show, and ever since then, I've just became bottom bitch. But I have met every single one of these killer comics from then, and I am so grateful for that because they have more. Every single one of them has more talent in their whole bodies than I do in any. Wait, that's backwards. They're one hand than I do in my entire body. These guys are all amazing. Grateful to know everybody here and for this and continuing forward. My name is Dan Callahan. Thank you, everybody.
Dan Callahan. Come on, give it over Dan Callahan, huh? Let's go. Oh, please. There's a lot better than that. Dan Callahan. I mean, we had a chair for the fucking guy getting roasted, and the guy getting roasted who booked this didn't even sit in the fucking chair. What the fuck is going on? All right, take it easy, Jim. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, sir. You're on the dais. You cannot take shots of him, city council, or the dome. All right? Guys, you're lucky. 37 more acts tonight. 37 more roasters who are going to insult the dome and everyone else who you don't know. So have fun with that shit, all right? Fucking, are we hanging in there or what? Clap it up for your next performer. Your next roaster is the only person on this dais with a vagina. God bless. Give it up for Missy Hall, everybody. Missy Hall.
Yes, me and my vagina are very happy to be here in the ball pit. Sorry, buddy. I know that's a rough one for you. I mean no harm. And sir, you are adorable. Can you stand up and show everybody your face? Just real quick. Because I want Mark DeMeo. Wait, you got to look too, because this guy looks like you if you weren't completely fucked up. Right? He looks like a guy who hasn't had as hard a life as you. You can sit, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, Dennis Rooney, I'd never heard of him before tonight either. Now I know why. Yeah. While he was busy writing his jokes yesterday, I made a grand doing some motivational speaking, so looks like I won, pussy. Yes, yeah. It's true. It's absolutely true. I did. I was at Joe Biden's country club. Yeah. Go me. I know. He wasn't there. No, but look at these cute boys. Look at these cute... Kunal's gonna fall asleep. It's past his bedtime. Chris Roach has no idea where he is. He doesn't know. I've always been a little afraid of you, James, because you're so fast. You look like you could either kill somebody or commit suicide, at any moment. Any moment, it scares me. Buddy and I came up together in comedy. We did. So I can't say anything mean to you that hasn't already been thought every time you look in a mirror. You look at that every day, you know. And Dan, you're telling some jokes. That's cute. He's telling some jokes. Yes. No, but it's funny. Joel, let me tell you something. One of the things that I love the most about Joel is he never calls me and just says, I need a woman on the show, right? He says, Missy, I need you to come close out for me. I like that. I don't think Joel has any interest. Who the fuck are you? I don't remember. He doesn't care about my vagina. To be honest, I don't know if he cares about anyone's vagina, because I've never actually seen him with a woman or a man. He's alone all the time, every day, all the time. It should be S-O-L-E Joel, Soul Joel. Yes. And one of the first shows we went to, we were on the road with a couple other comics, and we go in, and this lady comes. She's like, now listen, I need you guys to be very careful about what you talk about. We had a comic here last year, and he was horrible. People got up and left in the middle of the show because he was so bad. And we're standing there going, And Joel's like, guys, I got to go wait out in the parking lot. We're like, why? He's like, that was me. It was such a moment. It was really good. And then when he built this big litter box, I was like, well, this is something, Joel. Instead of 4 dump trucks full of sand, maybe you could buy some fucking chairs. I don't know. Okay, bring your own chair, because we have sand for you to sit in. That's supposed to make it festive. And I've always known Joel, and I swear to you, I've always known him to be one of the kindest, most gentle men I have ever known. Yes, absolutely. But then I saw that he was going to sell little bottles of sands. And I'm like, yay! Woohoo! I'm going to miss that. No, then I saw he was going to sell the little bottle of sands. I'm like, Joel, you're a fucking psychopath. Like, or he's a genius and you all are the fucking psychopaths. Are you buying little bottles of sand? I know you are. You have a hat. You have a, like, who hurt you? Like, what is the matter? You know? I mean, you can take your own sand, people. Just shake it the fuck out of your shoes when you get in your car. You could even take some piss out of the urinal if you want a real souvenir. And talk about an ecological disaster. Is there some shore house that is now underwater because Joel took their yard? I'm living in fear for the day where the little baby sea turtles come out and start heading to the fucking railroad tracks. You know, and Joel, what you have done in this town is amazing. Like, it is absolutely amazing. He has changed this town forever. What he has not changed is the ability of anyone who comes here to pronounce it correctly. No one can say, Royers for, where the fuck am I, Joel? What, how do I say it? Royers Ford. Where do you summer? Royers Ford. Yeah. And it was so exciting. Like when comedy was dead, Joel brought it back with some of the biggest, with some of the biggest names. I mean, we were all impressed when he got Andrew Dice Clay here. Then we remembered what year it is, and we were like, what is this? You know, and all those big names. Joel's going to be so sad when they can go back to real places now and don't have to come here anymore, Joel. They don't have to come here. Yeah, no. But I'm going to miss this little death trap that I've been so happy to be part of. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen to it, but you can be sure there'll be another surprise announcement. Huge announcement. Special announcement. Joel, they're not all special. Not everything is a special announcement, Joel. We don't care that you fucking saved 15% with Geico. Like, it is not all a big announcement. If you call everything a big announcement, it's not big anymore. It's not so big. It is not so big. And I secretly think you've wanted me dead for a few years, Joel, because he keeps sending me to weird places. Like, he sent me to Pittsburgh alone for a Christmas party with no sound system in a bar and told me to tell the people to turn off the Steelers game so I could do my set. Yeah. It was an hour outside of Pittsburgh. Where were you going to have them bury me? Like, under this fucking sand? Like, was this... Then, before the litter box was here, he had me at a restaurant on the edge of a stage, and then there was a road. And then he put the people on the other side of the road. And I got to do comedy yelling across a road while Mack trucks whizzed back and forth. Back and forth. And then he had me here. And it was cold, and it was wet. And like Chris was mentioning earlier, I'm standing in a puddle, holding electricity. Ice is falling down. And then they have burning fires, like those gas lanterns in here. I'm like, we're all going to die tonight. I'm like, what did I do to you, Joel? Like, what did I do to you? But in all seriousness, I got to tell you, this man has kept me working pre-pandemic. He has had me here during the pandemic. He has me booked going out. And there's honestly nothing I wouldn't do for you. Yeah, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Thank you.
Excellent job. Excellent. Missy Hall. Keep it going for Missy Hall. Come on. Missy Hall. And welcome back, Dennis Rooney. He was writing more jokes. All right, we're gonna keep it. I mean, this show's been so long. Fucking, we're refilming Weekend at Bernie's. This guy's died 3 different times in the corner. Holy shit! Coming to the stage is everyone's favorite NYPD retired officer turned comedian, Mark DeMeo.
Okay, so here's the thing. What's up, everybody? I probably know Joe longer and have been working with Joe longer than anybody else here, okay? I've been doing a comedy for a minute, and Joel, I've been at, no, we spend many a night going out, and I just want to say, in case you don't know, Joe likes mature women. And this thing right here, oh God, Dominion Home Care Services, you see that? It's not just a thing for old people. It's Joe's dating site. I love you, man. I love you, man. Listen, I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to tell you a story. If you don't know Joel, this story is going to tell you everything you need to know about him, okay? So Joel used to book a room in Nantucket years ago. We're going back maybe 15, no, it was 2014. No, I looked up the video today. It was 2014. He was booking a room in Nantucket. Now, in case you don't know, in order to get to Nantucket, you got to catch a ferry. Oh my God. So the show is going to be me and Sergio Chacon, who's also been out here and has performed. If you come to the shows here, you might know Sergio Chacon as well. So the plan was that Joel was going to pick me and Sergio up on 54th Street and 2nd Avenue at 3:30 in the afternoon on Thursday. Now, I don't know what happened, but Sergio, if you know Sergio, he convinced Joe to pick him up from the Lower East Side, which doesn't sound like a big deal. If you've never been to New York, it's like, let's just say it's First Street. But on this particular day in New York City, which happens a lot, it took an hour and a half for Joel to drive from First Street to 54th Street. And Joel's coming from Staten Island, by the way. And Staten Island is a mess to get out of. So that was at least an hour before that. So Joe's basically driving 3.5 hours so far. I text him constantly, like, where are you guys? And like, we'll be there in 15 minutes. It was 90 minutes later. I work in this building. I'm a doorman. So I come out at 3:30. At 5 o'clock, they showed up. And Sergio's got this look on his face, like, you know, just... and Joel's already you can see, like, Joel has, like, more patience than anybody else that I ever met. But he's getting annoyed right now. Because he's been driving for 3.5 hours. Now, we got to catch a ferry. The ferry, the last one, leaves at 7:30, okay? We're 90 minutes behind right now. And unfortunately, on this particular day, the traffic getting out of New York City was crazy. So now we have to go to Cape Cod to catch this ferry. And everybody here has tried to beat the GPS. Right? We all do it. You know what I'm saying? The GPS gives you a time, you're like, no! I'm going to beat it. And you could beat it by like 10 minutes. Right? 15 minutes, maybe 20. Even, I'll give you a half an hour if you got a sports car. We were 90 minutes behind. There was no way you were going to catch the last ferry. But this is why I know this whole thing could happen here in the pandemic. Because you never seen more determination on a man's face. And mind you, by the way, like, we're so freaking late right now. And you would think, like, you know, some people would be like, you know, kind to him and because he's driving. Oh, I forgot to mention this. No, wait. This is an important part about knowing Joe. When they pulled up to 54th and 2nd, I'm going way back right now. I had to go in the back seat. Now, Joe, if you know him, he drives mostly new cars, that leases, whatever. It always looks great on the outside. I don't know if you've ever been or seen the inside of Joel's car. Yo, let me tell you something. He had, what he does, I don't know how he gets his mail. It's got to be like he goes to a P.O. box or at the end of the road. But he just takes his mail and throws it in the back seat. And like, it was like if you took 5 years of my mail and you put him in the back seat of the car. Like, I had to sit. And it's just not the mail. It's everything that he eats. And he consumes a lot. Like, so everything that he eats, it just goes right in the back seat. And then because he always wears button-down shirts, usually. And then there's wire hangers and there's shirt. My feet were up like this. There's a commercial that you could see online about the perfect shit you could take. And it has you with your feet up like this. That's the way I was sitting back there. And I tried to move stuff around, but you didn't want to do that because there was like an ecosystem living down there. These fruit flies started every time I moved another thing, fruit flies started popping out of nowhere. Sergio puts on Juicy. No, it's 3-6 Mafia. Is it? There was a mix. We're 90 minutes late. Joe would not give up. He was like, we're going to beat it. He's got a Cinnabon in his hand, a Monster energy drink. He's sweating. And we're busting his balls. It's not like we're like, dude, like, relax, bro. It's going to be okay. No, we're like, we can make it. Sergio goes, yo, Mark, don't you know somebody with a helicopter? I said, no, it's a heliport. I got a friend, he works for a heliport. We were busting his chops the whole way. We didn't make it. And the only reason why I had to convince him, because we're doing like, let me tell you something. I was a cop for 20 years. I've been in a lot of high-speed chases. I was active, man. Going through red lights like crazy. Like, I never was so scared in my whole life. He was so determined to meet this ferry. He was driving on it's not even a lane. It's like the service lane, doing like 85 miles an hour. And I was like, at some point, some car veered. We almost hit it. I was like, Joe, what the fuck, bro? We're not going to make it. That was the beginning of the weekend. No, because here's the thing. Like, you know what? Everybody, as far as you venture from your house, if it's to work or you're going to go on a trip, you're going to take a plane, there's always anxiety involved with it because you don't know how things are going to go. And all you pray for is, wow, I hope it goes good. You know what I'm saying? But you never remember those times. I remember every single moment of this weekend because it was the biggest complete disaster I've ever been involved in. We missed the ferry. Joe had to call his father up to book us a hotel room there. He was young. He was starting out in this. Then we caught the ferry the next day. We make it to, because you can't bring a car in Nantucket. You got to catch a ferry. You leave your car behind. We get there. The shows weren't that great. It was like, you know, and you're in Nantucket for crying out loud. There's water surrounding you everywhere. It's a freaking island. You know, we had a guy drive us. He had the only car in the island. These guys want to go running, Sergio and Joel. I was like, fuck. I was with Connie. I was like, take me to the beach, man. What the fuck are we doing right now? I was like, so the house that we stayed in, by the way, it was where the rock and roll, like they had bands in this bar. So everybody thinks bands play in great freaking places. No, they had bunk beds. It was like 100 degrees or better this weekend. There was no AC. Dave Matthews stayed there, yeah. Sweating his freaking balls off. I grew up in the city, man. Not everybody had AC, and if you did, it was in one room. You sweated yourself. You were so wet in the morning. That's the way I felt after 20 years of that night in that freaking thing there. And you know what's so funny? Like I mentioned, it was the best week, and I can't even remember another weekend that was better than that. And that's what life is about. Not everything is supposed to be perfect. And Joe started off, he wasn't perfect, but now look at the fuck he did. So, thanks, brother.
Oh, my gosh. Keep it going for Mark DeMeo, everybody. Mark DeMeo. Mark DeMeo, who just like my biological father said, I'll just be a couple minutes, and kept fucking going. Holy shit. Stroke victims are like, get to the fucking point. Fucking human rain delay. God damn, Bernie Williams. And Sergio put on Biggie Smalls beat like the fucking iPod. Jesus Christ, when that started, fucking Biden was president. Hunter's on his second term. Will you stop fucking caring about a party and just go with the joke, stupids, all right? Who gives a fuck what your fucking stuff? I couldn't think of fucking Barron Trump. Sorry, your hero, Barron Trump. I meant to go Barron. Fuck it, who gives a shit? Yuck. 3 more comics, and then Mark comes back to close. He's gonna recap everything that happened tonight, you fuckers. He's gonna spell out Biden's name so you can boo longer, you fuckers, you betas. Wait, was it Brandon? Who's Brandon? I don't know Brandon. No, we have plenty of time. This show started in June. Well, I'm a little busy now, but to Biden, I don't believe in. I voted for Lincoln. I don't know what you guys did. Something I have in common with them. The hits just keep coming, huh? Boy, guys, this is... When this show started, China wasn't even a country, let alone spreading a flu. And now look at this shit, huh? We have 3 more acts. I think we're going to be out of here before the sun comes up, all right? I hope everyone's okay here. I'm glad everyone's babysitter is going to get overtime tonight, huh? Coming to his stage is she's fucking hiding. Holy shit, miss, are you okay? No, not you. Next to you. She's fucking covering the fuck up. All right, we got 3 more. Are we good? Let's fucking go. Clap it up for your next performer. Someone I absolutely adore. Nope, not you. Fucking, you show up 5 minutes before your first fucking set, and now you're bumping a motherfucker. Please welcome the only man with a real fucking credit, Chris Roach. Give it up for fucking Chris Roach.
Thank you. Oh, I couldn't wait to stand up. Fucking legs. Hey, thanks. Sit down, Joe. I did write a few things. I won't do a monologue like some of the other guys. But it's nice to see some of the comedians are in the Halloween spirit. Starting with Canal down there, we have Gandhi in Antarctica. And then we have Mark DeMeo as pre-cirrhosis brawny paper towel guy. And Dennis Rooney as lesbian funeral director. And you guys. No, you know what's so funny? I've done probably like 80 shows for Joel and Buddy Harris and Dan Callahan. You know, it's fucked up. Up until today, I thought they were the same person. I didn't know you guys just so fucked up, man. And this is my first time meeting Missy. She's so sweet, Missy Hall. And because I remember, Joel, you say to me, hey, do you want to work with Missy G. Hall? I thought that was a place. And then I met Missy tonight. She's so sweet. She goes, no, I'm Missy G. Missy G. Hall is my vagina's nickname. Can you book me in Missy G. Hall? I want to work there. Oh, yeah. Yes. Casey, Dennis Rooney, the answer to all of our childhood questions. What would it be like if a snowman really did come to life? You know, I've been doing comedy 18 years. I think Mark DeMeo, you're one of the first guys I met in the city. We were doing a show at Two Boots. It's a pizza place. I remember doing a show with him. And I don't know who said Dennis. He actually did have a hit one-man show called 20 and Out based on his career. And 20 years, because you get 20 years in NYPD, you can retire. 20 and Out. And we're hoping that's the theme of his comedy career, too. 20 years and out. No, really, get out. Get out, Mark, enough, please. God, you have beautiful lips. God, beautiful lips. And we saw Joel's sister, Deanna. Oh my God, is she amazing? You know what's amazing? The most amazing thing about Deanna is she looks just like Joel, but still manages to be hot. I don't get it. Deanna, 20 and Out. Okay, now, and then there's Joel. Joel, who's SoulJoel Productions. Joel's comedy career started indoor. It started indoor, then out, now back in, very much like his sexual identity. Yes, and after several, Joe Sancho, what the fuck? You know who doesn't get enough credit is Joey St. John, right? Joey St. John? Where is Joey? Is he in the back? Everybody turn around and say hi to Joey. He's such a hard-working dude, man. Really. You don't think Joey's on stage, but he is, because Joel is Joey's avatar. Do you remember the movie Avatar? That's Joey. Okay. Joey St. John. So here's something that a lot of people don't know, Joel, and that you told me, is that your great-grandfather's name was Joseph, or Joe, and his grandfather's name was Joe, and his father's name is Joe, but his father wanted his son Joe, before he named him Joel, he had hopes that he would have a successful career in business, so they slapped an L on the name, turning him into a Jew. Joel Richardson. What do you guys are? You're Italian and Italian, Scotch, Irish, German. Yeah, because it was your German side, I think, that created this dome. It was the German in you that said, how can I capitalize on people suffering? How can I make money while millions of people are dying? And I have an idea. We will build a dome. If you build it, they will come. You laugh now. That wasn't even German. What was that? It was Asian, right? What a fucking racist I am. German, St. Joe's. All right. So, anyway, it was so nice watching Joel turn from the, like Mark was saying, from working with him many years ago, back to when he was doing shows at the attic of a dollhouse in Mount Holly. Remember that little place? It was a pretty good gig, And then watch him, all these big name people, and he has this summer concert series that I wasn't on, and it was really, but it was so good. But it's so good. It's always good in this fucking business of rejection, and it's always nice to see a good guy win once in a while. And I love you, brother. It's so nice seeing you.
Chris Roach. Give it up for Chris Roach. Dressed like a Jedi. What's that? What do you yell? I mean, you're fucking right in the middle and yelled like I wasn't going to spot you. What'd you say? Go ahead. Let it out, my love. You're just going to kill momentum. It took us fucking 10 minutes to get it back. Yeah, I've never heard that before. I got fired from warm-up on their show, I think, because I look like Murr, just so you know. So fucking way to bring back these wounds. That I got fired? Yeah, it's great. I ended up being here 3 weeks later. Thanks, hon. Yes, Jim? What do we look? Yeah, whatever, Jim. Oh, my God, you're pointing at him like it's Inglourious Bastard. We have to go. We have 2 more. Guys, seriously, the Amish have to get. If they leave now, by the time their horse gets them home, it'll be 2023. I keep the hits coming, motherfucker. I keep the hits coming. Coming to the stage is a wonderful performer who cared about you so much he showed up an hour into the fucking show. Please, even the Amish got here before you, goddammit. What's your fucking excuse? Please welcome Buddy Harris. I gotta pee. Buddy Harris.
I have kids, goddammit. That's what fucking held me up. I had to look them in the eyes and lie to them and said I had something important going on tonight as I fucking drove to this piece of shit place. I abandoned them for this. I couldn't be happier, honestly. Fuck them. And here's the thing. This is my first roast, and just like Missy's first time, it's happening in a train station parking lot. And I've never, as I sit up here and I look at all these people, I realize I'm a baby at comedy. I'm just looking at all these people 20 years into the business, 30 years into the business, and I'm like, holy shit, if I just keep working hard enough and I just stick to this, one day I can still end up fucking being here like nothing else has ever happened in my shitty career. I think this is a free show. This is how Joel fucking does it to us. This is great. It's great meeting Chris Roach. He's, or as the industry likes to call him, not Kevin James. I know. I'm disappointed too. That's what happens when you waste height on white people. What a fucking disappointment, First time meeting Dennis Rooney, he got up. I didn't even meet him before the show. He just got up. I was like, why is Joel's lawyer being so mean to me right now? And just like a fucking Yellow Book lawyer, he's fucking coked out of his mind, sweating up here in a monsoon. Kunal's exciting, or as Joel likes to call him, diversity. He just recently stopped calling him his black friend. I'm like, Joel. Fucking, it's crazy. Joel had a lot of courage to do a comedy club outdoors and to make it what it is today. It took even more courage to make us still fucking be outside 7 months after we were allowed back inside. He was like, I think I'm going to start looking at places indoors. I think you're a little fucking late, Joel. It's crazy. Even the fucking Baby Dolls workers are allowed back inside. That's a strip club we're all going to after the show, guys. I don't know. Missy's performing. Nothing has ever exploited tragedy like Joel since Plan B. While the rest of us were like, I can't wait for the pandemic to be over, he's like, come on, Delta, baby. It's crazy. I was proud to be by his side when he looked at this place originally, indoors, and he was like, I have a vision for it. And then outdoors, he's like, I have a new vision. And I was like, I don't see either. And he's like, when he told me the area, I was like, are you sure that's the area you want to pick, Someone told me right when I got here, there's like, be careful, there's Amish people in the audience. And I've been looking the whole time, and I'll be honest, I can't tell who the fuck is Amish and who's from Spring City. Y'all look the fucking same to me. If you're different, you're using the same dentist. That's all I'm saying. And then Joel was like, just brought me along during this whole ride, and he found a place, and he's like, it's a country club in Norristown. And let me say that again. A country club in Norristown. That's like opening up an auto repair shop in Lancaster. It's fucking such an oxymoron. I haven't seen pictures yet. I'm waiting to pull up to a fucking McDonald's. He's like, no, this can fit 300 people in here. Yeah, here it comes. Joel is the Rain Man of comedy. I don't know if you guys have spent time with him. He is what you call functional autism. Except for collecting toy trains, he moved a comedy club next to one. Fucking too real? I think so, probably. If you ever just been here, you can hear his delayed laugh in the background. I don't know what the fuck is going through his mind at any given. I think it's the train, just constantly in his brain. It's exciting. You have been an inspiration, Joel. This is gonna fuck up the nice part where I was gonna be kind to you. You have been an inspiration. I mean, when most people were just trying to survive, you found a way to succeed. And honestly, you've become the Rudy of comedy. You know? Just like Rudy, you fought real hard. You might have a learning disability. The only difference is instead of working hard enough to join the team, you bought Notre Dame and you made yourself the quarterback. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, brother.
Buddy Harris. One more time for Buddy Harris. Excellent job. Oh, my goodness. This has been a hoot and a holler. Ladies and gentlemen, the 6 greatest words in comedy. Your last roaster of the night. We've made it this fucking far. I think some people went in the back and had sex, and their baby's in fucking college now. Let's go out in a blaze of glory. He is the man. Give it up for my boy, the great Kunal Aurora. Kunal Aurora, let's go.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's, my God. Can't feel my feet. All right. Keep it going for James, everybody. This is not... It's 3 hours, for fuck's sake. You know, James is the man of 1,000 references. I have no clue what the hell he's saying half the time. Right? He'll be like, hey, Bubba, that's wilder than Ric Flair at the Sunoco incident of 76. And you're just blankly staring at him like, wouldn't it be easier if you told us you were molested? Like, Now James spends half his time here in Royersford and the other half in New York City. It's like spending time between 2 divorced parents. One is addicted to drugs and has dreams of making it, and the other is New York City. And what do we do? This looks like a Royersford bus stop. I don't... Like, yeah, we're going to roast this town. That's a good idea. Maybe next week we come back and roast Detroit. Like, how awful is this place, you know? Like, I've done countless shows here. It's so bad that the train that passes here doesn't even have the decency to derail itself. Too wordy. I got it. Just so you guys know, the only thing of note that's ever been shot in Royersford is The Lovely Bones. It's a movie. I don't know if you guys heard of it. Yeah, I'd imagine the location scout was like, we need a place where a girl could get murdered and dropped in a dump site. Oh, of course, Royersford. If you don't know what The Lovely Bones is about, it's about a girl who gets murdered and dropped in a dump site. The only people that have ever made it out of this town are the ones that have died in various wars. You could see all their pictures aligned on Main Street. That's how you know you're in a real shithole of a town. When someone decides, you know what's better than living here? Active gunfire. But they say if you build it, they will come. And here you are. Joel, it's fine. Joel managed to put this town on the charts besides highest fentanyl deaths. You came forward and you supported this club, you know? The only thing more jammed with your donations to fund this hellhole is the amount of teeth in Buddy Harris's mouth. Buddy is happy to be here. He's happy to be anywhere, really. Look at him. Buddy has 3 daughters and is divorced. Jesus Christ. You have more women disappointed in you than Matt Lauer. You should have built a trap door to hold your family. Speaking of vile creatures, here's Chris Roach. Chris has been on several shows with Kevin James. Afterwards, Chris lost a bunch of weight because Kevin can wait, but diabetes cannot. Roach is the only comic I've seen to lose weight exclusively everywhere else but his head. That's impressive. You look like a black guy carrying a boombox in the 80s. You got a fat head, Chris. That's all I'm saying. You look like a magnifying glass. I didn't know there was a bobblehead diet. But listen, I think it's easy to look good when your opener is Dennis Rooney, you know? Dennis, you fat baby. with your tiny head and gargantuan body. You look like the inverse of Chris Roach. Dennis is Irish, but you can also tell because his body looks like a bag of ill-shapen potatoes. But who am I to judge? Dennis has given more money to my mother than I ever have. Mostly because she's his landlord. You know that American dream to live in the basement of an Indian woman's house? It's crazy that you aspired to live in a place that I had to get out of. Speaking of people that live in basement apartments, here's Mark DeMeo. Mark is somebody I'm extremely close with. You know, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Mark, you're an asshole. It annoys me that I try to get 8 hours of sleep, eat healthy, and exercise, yet we look similar in age. Mark told me the other day in his garbage Queens accent, you know, yesterday was the first time I had ever had a string bean. You know how fucking irritating it is to hear that? We look the same age. Like, the only way you could figure out Mark's age is if you were to cut his leg and count the onion rings floating in it. I drink a gallon of water a day, and the only water you consume is from your whiskey's melted ice. Speaking of unknowns, let's take a brief pause for Dan Callahan. Yeah. Dan is here because he has to be. He literally works for Joel. You may see his stupid promo videos that are viewed by 42 people. Mostly Facebook, Meta QAnon lunatics and Russian bots. He helps set up the shows, then he hosts the shows, or which I like to call sound check. I'm not done. Dan is known for harassing people on the internet and selling them strange items like urns filled with pointless things like salsa. For your next one, maybe you could sell the toilet filled with your career. All right. Okay, before I get to Joel, did I get everybody? Oh, wait, yes, Missy G. How could I forget? You, yes. Before I get to Joel, I gotta say, let me just say one fucking thing about you. You're a treat to work with. All right. Now to the man of the hour and the club of the hour, Soul Joel. Soul Joel Richardson, you Staten Island mook. I've never met somebody who has a premier comedy club that continues to act like a Jersey goon. I have no idea what I have no idea what Joel does during the day, to be honest. Book some acts, yell at his assistants to make ugly flyers, call me to ask me if the thing that a comic said on Facebook 2 weeks ago is something about him from 3 years ago. With all the stuff Joel doesn't do for business, he still manages to run 30 miles a week and remain fat. It's impressive. It makes sense why this place is called SoulJoel's. Like most black-owned businesses, it too has been struggling. But all it took was Big J Okerson to get dragged off stage, and everybody was talking about this place. Did you hear Big J got dragged off stage? What was it, at a Klan rally? No, he's a Jew. It was at a comedy club. We have a comedy club? And so it was promoted. The other place, the reason this place stays in business is because of Deanna, Joel's sibling. You know her, right? She's the real reason this place is thriving. If you don't know Deanna, she works in real estate. She's also single with a bunch of children. So she knows how to make the most out of something that's depreciating in value. I know. But this place works. For the longest time, it was tons of sand with no protection. The only thing that got dumped in more with no protection was Joel's sister. 4 kids, Deanna. 4. My God, your legs are more open for business than the club. Wow. She's going to kill me after this roast either way. So, you want me to go on or not? There we go. Okay. I want to address something, all right? They say Joel has a reputation for being flirtatious. Okay? And I have to say something. That is not true. It's not. Joel has only been seductive to the ugly and old. Make no mistakes. Joel doesn't approach women that are bottom of the barrel. No, no. He turns the barrel upside down and hooks up with the stuff that comes out from the bottom. Joel developed his appetite for ill-favored women at the Valley Forge Casino, where his taste happens to be Pall Malls and pennies stuck to the underside of misshapen tits. So ladies, I promise you, I do, if you wear something nice, you will not get Joel's attention. Put on some chapstick, Joel will walk right past you. Your cousin could be a meth-riddled 20-something-year-old, but if she combs her thinning hair, she'd still be too young. For Joel has only eyes for the heinous and long in the tooth. Joel is like the Predator, but the only vision he has is for Pennsylvania Turnpike 2s. I didn't write anything nice because I figured I'd just let it come from the heart. Joel has kept obviously a lot of us working, which is a shame. Truly. But, it's, man, this is insane, right? You got somebody who continues to give a fuck about comedy for so long and for so much. And, continue supporting him, as we have. And I love you, buddy. I really do.
Kunal Aurora. Keep it going for Kunal. Oh, my God. You got him to stand up for you, Kunal. Jesus. Oh, no, you just had to pee. All right. I didn't think a guy in camouflage pants was going to stand up for an Indian. All right, that was not going to happen. Why start now? Jesus Christ, everybody. What's going to happen? Dogs will fly, women will vote, whatever, huh? That was for this area. All right, before we bring out the man of the hour, this has been surprisingly very... Good job, everybody. You stuck in there. You stuck in. Holy shit. Crazy-ass fucking Jim over here has a gift. He got all these comedians to sign this shirt from the Summerfest, and he wanted to give it to Joel. Jim is devoted and loves this place, so I'm going to present it to you now. Give it up for Jim, who's just a wonderful person. Yo, this show's in the bag, huh? I brought it back. Well, everybody, there's one person left to be heard from. Please welcome the one and only. Get your goddamn onions ready and your tissue for Soul motherfucking Joel Richardson.
Guys, keep it going for James. Thank you guys so much. So the bugle player was my fraternity brother, Don Plummer, drove all the way from the Catskills to be here. I mean, that's just like with this whole last 16 months, like we just had this do or die attitude, and that was just the icing on the cake. Dave Matthews, a guy with camouflage pants, just walked out. He built our inside stage when we were inside. We all just stuck together, and I appreciate all you guys for coming out and always... But my sister, the Saints, Kiernan, Dan, all these, we never remember the good times. So when Chris Roach was on Kevin Can Wait, we did a fundraiser in my hometown. I was so proud. Like, he literally was coming from CBS Studios. He was running late, and I had to do 20 minutes, which, yeah. So... he gets there, and he was like, I'm here. And he had to, like, switch shirts, go to the bathroom, because somehow he got lost twice with a GPS. He walks in. I'm, like, so excited. I'm a sold-out crowd. We're inside. This is, like, 4 or 5 years ago. All of a sudden, I go, please welcome from Kevin Can Wait on Kevin James. You can see him on Monday night on CBS Network TV. Please welcome Chris Roach. Swear to God, he goes, keep it going for my good friend Josh. I'm Joel, for anybody who didn't get that joke. And Missy wasn't joking when we did actually a show in a synagogue. We're in the synagogue, and this lady, without realizing I just lost weight, she comes up and she goes, "God, I hope you guys are better than the comics from last year." And I just was like, "Oh, this is going to be good because I hired everyone, so I just want to get feedback." And then she starts like naming my jokes. I was like, "Oh my God, she's talking about me." And the comics are always polite because I'm the ones paying them. But Missy was like, maybe you should only do 5. It was a good idea. I did 4, and I brought her right up. Kunal, the story is we met at Gotham Comedy Club that Dan mentioned, and and 2 of my guys from our fraternity at Wagner College wore the original Soul shirts, and they were like so proud that they were here. So Casey and Mark had just done a national-wide commercial. They were, they're hot. They did it for Optimum Online. I love how Casey had the roast of the night, and he just puts his feet up. Fucking great. So Kunal comes up and goes, "Has anybody mentioned those 2 idiots wearing Soul shirts in the front row?" And I was like, "No." He goes up just like this roast and just does 30 minutes on him. Basically, me finds out that it's me, and then realizes afterwards that I book 200 shows a year, and he was like, "You hate me, huh?" And it took like 8 months and Mark DeMeo to convince me to have a booked again, and we did it down in Stone Harbor. All right. What's that? Oh man, there's so many stories, but I mean, guys, give it up for James, doing a great job. He's sleeping in my we are sleeping until he's going to be here tomorrow night, and he's staying in my bed. I'm sleeping on the couch, my choice. But he goes to the bathroom like every hour. A little cranky, but he's the best.
The audience is 42. They get it. I'm the youngest fucker here. They go 8 times.
But one of the reasons why I brought he's the best host from New York to LA in the country. We don't just say that. And all the comics that came down from New York, they felt great because they knew they were going to do a good job because he was hosting them and I wasn't. It was great because you're the best, man. I have nothing else to say. You're great. And Buddy Harris and I, so after 14 years, I finally opened up my own comedy club. And then Buddy and his fiance bought the Lansdale Tavern. And we really felt like we went through this whole pandemic together. And I couldn't be happier for Buddy. And I appreciate you guys all being here. I got nothing else, man. Thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys keep supporting. We never wanted to leave, but this time's coming to an end. And I appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Well, howdy, howdy.
Well. I noticed I didn't even realize it until now. You go all the way down the line, and then it was pretty much like, all right, Dan, start sweeping the stage. Let's get the fuck out of here. It's just, I didn't get my own personal story. That's.
I know. I actually was probably. I talked about how you were the most prepared. I was probably the least prepared, man.
Oh, that's so funny.
I didn't have something for everyone, and I should have done that, man. It would have been better.
I didn't even realize it till now. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
there's so many lines in there that were so good that it was so enjoyable, and people are just commenting back and forth. I loved it, man.
Yeah. No, it was great to be able to debut this entire thing. It's not many places. I don't think I've ever seen a roast like this go up on Facebook Live or anything like that. But it's glad. I mean, I don't know how many total views what it came in at, but I mean, there was at least 30-something people on there, mostly throughout the entire thing. So.
Consistently, yeah. Lots of comments, and we appreciate, Melinda. And Melinda actually made a good point. I think I told you this offline, that her church went to move 35 minutes in New Jersey to another location. And she's like, they're just moving once a week. They're going to church. So listen, we never wanted to move, but we had to. We are going to find a permanent spot that's going to be closer to Royersford, but we're always going to be in this Montgomery County area. and we're gonna bring back the BYOB, bring back the dome for the summertime, and we hope you for now you keep supporting us at Westover.
Yeah. Ticket prices are staying the same. There's a bar in there. The shows are great with seating. It's inside. Any questions, hit us up. But it's there's a look at it right there. There's the stage right there. Got a bar off to the side. Restaurant downstairs beforehand. Go do 18 beforehand the show. Whatever you want to do. I mean, it'll be a good time. We enjoy it there. So it's an in-between stop before the next permanent spot. So yeah.
We just announced, we have Chuck Nice. Chuck Nice is going to be on Good Day Philadelphia tomorrow, so definitely check that out. If you miss it, we'll post up the clip. And he's there Friday night at SoulJoel's, Thursday night at Rivers Casino. We just announced our New Year's Eve show with Kunal Aurora and Mike Britt, so that's going to be a fun one. Lots of fun shows coming up.
Oh yeah, and I see Claire commented. Missy called it special announcement time.
Hey, I haven't done that in a while, so that's so funny. But yeah, it is special announcement. And Aunt Mary Pat just sold out December 11th, the early show. So we have the late tickets still to the late show. But it was great.
Yeah. Got a lot of people coming up over to the spots of the new site. We got all the ticketing through there. Got all the tickets that are currently up on the calendar, SoulJoel's.com, all of them there. We got pretty much into January. There's some February. But, I mean, we've been adding shows every day at this point.
Yeah, and shout out to the Wild Card for tuning in from China. And thanks to everybody else for tuning in. Yeah, we keep adding more shows. We should be announcing Ted Alexandro by tomorrow.
Ted Alexandro. What are some of the other
special announcement?
That's a big special announcement for all the people sticking in here and watching this. We got them. We just put up Eric Alessandro, right? Jeremiah Watkins is coming back with a podcast. That's going to be a good one. All through November. And
guys from You Fucked It and Dad Meat, Matt Shaner and Brian Six.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were all down at
Rainy, Tim Butterly, they're going to be there. They had 2 separate dates in September, but now they're coming together to do one. I just saw Ryan Shaner this weekend and did 20-minute set, and he killed it. So he's great both stand-up and podcast wise. So got a little mix of all the different local guys from the area, other national headliners, good mix of everything. Stand-up podcasts, music before Thanksgiving Eve's show with Anthony DeVito. That'll be a good time too. Last year Thanksgiving Eve was a bit of a bummer because of that alert that went out to everybody, right? What did they do? They closed everything at 5:00 or something Thanksgiving Eve last year.
Yeah, and they told people to stay home. And we added Darren. So Darren's going to be playing the acoustic guitar before and after the show on Wednesday night. So music and comedy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Combo. Bugle guy will be back. Let's get him on stage. He can do a whole we'll get a whole trumpet trio going. This will be nice. We should have a jazz night.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll hope to see you soon. Please share, keep commenting. Buy some tickets. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. We'll see you.